A couple of weeks ago, I put out a poll on my Instagram and asked if you guys would like to see more videos giving deep dives into my bikes. And the response was 100% yes. So that is what we're going to do today. Starting with this, my Colnago C68. If you've seen the Dream Build video of this, you've already seen all the parts that have gone into this bike, but I have had a lot of questions, a lot of comments regarding group set choice and other things like that, people asking for the weight. So I thought, why don't I sit down and tell you in person exactly why I chose every piece of this bike, what it weighs, what the size is, and everything like that. If you haven't seen the Dream Build video, you can watch it up here. So here she is, my Colnago C68 in black. I really like the stealth look. This isn't the limited edition black, it's just the standard black. This is stealthy, it's sleek, it's understated, and that's what I really love about it. The frame is a 45.5, which is measured from the top of the seat tube to the center of the bottom bracket. Now, it does sound like it's really, really small, but actually it equates to about a 51. The effective top tube is 517 mil. My previous bike, my Ribble Endurance, was a size small, and that came out as something like a 53. It's got quite a long top tube. It was actually too long for me, even though it said by my height that that's where I was. When I had a bike fit, they said I was on a bike that was a size too big. So that's why I went down a size and went with the 45.5 for this. You may notice that a lot of these components are very similar to the components I had on my Ribble Endurance SLR, the white bike. That is because they are actually from that bike. A few of those people on the Dream Build video were asking, why does the group set look used? And that is because it is used. We tried to clean it up as much as we could for the video, but this is my actual bike. I did also get quite a lot of comments on that video asking why the Colnago doesn't have Campagnolo Super Record EPS on it. Italian bike, Italian group set. Why put Shimano Dura Ace on a Colnago? I can't believe you've done this. The fact that I moved all of this group set over from my old bike, it kind of is the main one. It's the only one that really matters. There are a couple of other reasons. I don't like Campagnolo as much. This has been absolutely bomb-proof, and I prefer the aesthetics, I prefer the feel, I love the new levers, I like the layout of the buttons. I just prefer Shimano, and I feel it's a lot more of a robust and efficient drivetrain. Staying with drivetrain just for a second, this actually is equipped with the Ceramicspeed OSPW, and it is a Ceramicspeed UFO chain. You could definitely tell that from the Dream Build video, but now it's been degreased a couple of times and re-waxed. So yeah, Shimano Dura Ace, Ceramicspeed, OSPW and chain. That leads me on to wheels. Now, I did have these Meilenstein wheels on my Ribble as well. This isn't the exact same pair, but that is the reason that the Meilensteins were on there. There's just something about these wheels, man. Like, they just look absolutely insane. They're really stiff, they're very quiet. They have a DT Swiss hub internal, and they're very light. They're 1360. Let me see if I think I get that right. But they're very, very lightweight. And the aesthetic of the wheels, I think, finishes the bike and makes it look like an absolute weapon. Yeah, I really love the way that this looks. It is quite tricky to see as well, but this is actually also a Ceramicspeed bottom bracket. It's the T47, and it is incredibly slinky. This bike's actually fully kitted out with Ceramicspeed. It has the bottom bracket, the OSPW, and the headset bearings are also Ceramicspeed. This is the SLT headset. Apparently you don't need to maintain that at all, so that's pretty cool. The eagle-eyed of you may have noticed, but these are not ordinary brake pads. These are absolute black graphene pads, and I can confirm they are very good. They're extremely powerful, they are quiet. In the wet they do squeal for about 2 rotations of the wheel, and then they basically become silent. And I haven't had that with any brake pads. They really look cool as well, don't they? So yeah, those are in the bike and I love them. Thank you very much, Absolute Black. Let's talk about Cockpit, shall we? This is the CC01 integrated cockpit, which looks very beautiful, as you can see. It is incredibly sleek, very slim, and that's one thing I really like about it. Obviously, all the cables are internally routed. It has a 90mm stem. It's 39 centimeters wide, because I have the frame of a 8-year-old boy, so I need to make sure that I can, so I need to make sure that I am not too wide because I have narrow shoulders. But yeah, it's pretty sleek, and inside there, don't know if you can see in this bit, there's a multi-tool. Let me show you. Quite cool, isn't it? Just goes in there like that. Poop. See ya. Oh yeah, and this is an integrated mount as well. It comes with it. It's nice. That goes on there. This is the Berk Leaper saddle, which is extremely light and extremely comfortable as well. Honestly, I can't praise Berk enough for what they do. The saddles are really good looking, really comfortable, and really light. So the three things that you want when you're looking at a bike saddle, right? There's not really much else to tell you about this bike. I would tell you about the tyres, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed because these are not available yet. What I can tell you is they're 25mm wide and I run them tubeless. That's all I can tell you. The only other bits of note really are the pedals. I use the Speedplay pedals, titanium, the 160 something grams, stupidly light, and the bottle cages. So the bottle cages are Colnago carbon bottle cages, again, pretty light. And I think that pretty much sums up what's on the bike. One of the comments that I got on the Dream Build video was, why has this bike got so many racing parts on it? And I don't really think it has. When you have a bike like this, which is made with the sole intention of giving the rider the very best experience possible on a bicycle, well, I can enhance that by having a nice bottom bracket. I can enhance it by having an OSPW. That to me makes this bike the very best bike that I could possibly have ever dreamed of having, and I am very lucky that I have the opportunity to have that bike. Let me just address the elephant in the room real quick, and that is the price of this bike. It's ridiculously expensive. If you were to buy this bike on this exact spec, you'd probably be looking around £16,500, which you can buy a motorbike for, you could buy a couple of cars for. But that's not really why you get a C68. It's the pinnacle of bicycles. It's handmade in Italy. It is hand wrapped, the carbon, everything is done by a person. It is one of the last remaining bikes that is actually made in Italy. It has prestige, it has history, it has heart. Ernesto Colnago himself said that every bike has a soul, and it really feels like this bike has a soul, which sounds really weird when you say it out loud, but when you ride it, you understand. It isn't the fastest bike, it isn't the most aero, it isn't the lightest, but it is hands down the most enjoyable riding experience I've ever had on a bike, and you feel extremely lucky to be on it every time you're riding it. Saying that though, this bike is pretty light. When we built this bike, it came out at 7.07 kilograms. That is with bottle cages, but it's without the pedals. Now I think the pedals are about 170 grams, so it comes out roughly 7.2, just over 7.2 with pedals, which I feel is pretty light. It's another thing that a lot of people like to moan about in the comments. I've noticed how expensive a bike is for how much it weighs. Most of the guys in the pro peloton now have bikes that weigh 7.4, 7.5, and they're going quicker than they've ever gone. So it's not all about weight, guys. So that is my C68. What do you reckon? Would you have something like this if you could? Would you spec it differently? Would you spec it exactly the same? I know a few people have said that they would spec it exactly the same. If you have any questions at all that I haven't covered, because let's face it, I've probably forgotten something, then please feel free, ask in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, let me know what you thought to the bike down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've enjoyed the video, smash the thumbs up button. It does help the channel out a lot. And if you're like me and love bikes, love cycling, love adventures, then subscribe to the channel, because that is what we talk about on this channel, and I'd love to have you as part of the community. Anyway, until the next video, take care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Bye. I can't reach the thing over there, but see ya.